bring April 15th meeting to order. Approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, there is one addition to the agenda under Dave Rush, a memorandum of agreement with Horizon Public Health for cannabis retail business registration. That's the only change, and we're starting with Resolution 25-31 today.
Very well, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
And I second that.
Shane? Jeff? All right. Lenny?
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next is approved draft minutes of the April 1, 2025 regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Lenny, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Sheriff Wolverson, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a few items this morning, starting out with some donations. The first donation is from the Minnesota Sheriff's Association in the amount of $250. They would like it designated to the Sheriff's Office Honor Guard, so I'd ask the board to accept that donation.
Board's wishes.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2531, donation from Minnesota Sheriff's Association.
Thank you, Tim.
I second that.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lenny, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right.
The second donation is in the amount of $300. It's from the Kiwanis Club, Golden K, and they would like that money designated to the DARE program. And I'd ask the board to accept that donation.
Board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve Resolution 2532,
Thank you, Charlie.
donation from the Kiwanis Club.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Shane. Any other questions? Lenny, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The third item, also a donation. This donation is from Lakes Area Law Dogs. What it is, it's a Yamaha portable sound system with the wireless power supply and microphone system. It's valued at approximately $3,000, and I'd ask the board to accept this donation.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2533.
Thank you, Jeff.
Second.
Thank you, Charlie. Any other questions? Lenny, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is a grant from the Department of Natural Resources. This is an annual grant or regular grant that we receive for boating and water safety. This grant amount is $26,250, and it's utilized to offset some of the costs associated with patrol of the county lakes for safety, water safety purposes. And the grant begins January 1st of this year and ends June 30th of 2026. We just received it a couple weeks ago, so it's not me being negligent, we just got it, so. I'd ask the board to accept this grant.
Board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2534 and accept the boat and water safety grant.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Lene?
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And the last item is also a grant from the Department of Natural Resources. This one is a supplemental patrol and enforcement grant for Water Patrol also. It's in the amount of $2,500. The grant dates are May 9th of 2025 to September 1st of 2025. And this grant is utilized to add additional enforcement to the lakes. We've received this grant for as long as I can remember for additional enforcement hours on the water. So I'd ask the board to accept this grant as well.
Board's wishes.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2535 Boating Safety Supplement Patrol Grant.
Thank you, Tim.
A second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All righty.
Thank
And I'd
you.
just like to take this time to recognize the good work that the dispatchers do. I think this is Dispatcher Week or something like that.
Yep, the dispatch.
So, thank you. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is telecommunicators.
Pass that word
week,
on, yep.
so
All right.
Our dispatchers do an excellent job
Yep.
and they have a lot of different responsibilities, answering 911 calls, plus dispatching all emergency services for the county. So
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Jake.
Morning. Gentlemen. So I'm coming back before you from the last time that we met. You asked me to table, or you wanted to table the conversation of hiring a full-time office assistant. With the help of Lee and Jill's people, we pulled some numbers. And it looks like the total difference with wages and benefits would be about $30,000. That includes the 3%, or we're guessing it's going to be about 3% COLA, kind of just based off past averages, and a step movement. So, and that also includes if she would accept or include the medical insurance. So that's up to $30,000, but we don't know what the actual cost would be.
All right, thank you. Board's wishes, what you thinking?
Mr. Chair, I have a question. Say, Jake, did you put this in your budget for this year?
That's why I'm coming
It
to
wasn't
you
in
now.
there?
No, that's why I'm coming to you now, is so that we can build it into the budget for next year. That's why I'm asking for this to be effective January 1, 2026.
Well, that would be what you would be working on now then?
Right.
Already?
Yep.
So when you put in your request though, I mean, earlier, all the department heads put in their requests, that wasn't in there at that time.
I can't recall, to be honest.
Mr. Chair. Jake, how much time is they putting in right now?
Currently, 30 hours.
And for the extra 7.5, it's gonna cost the county 30,000?
Up to, that's because right now she doesn't include any medical. And so it's, the up to 30K is with the extra medical insurance for family coverage. So we went to the maximum amount that she could pull from the county. Because right now she doesn't elect medical insurance. But we didn't want to base it just off of her as a person. We wanted that position, not her situation. And so the max that's going to cover the county would be 30K, difference than what she's making currently, or what she's costing currently.
Mr. Chair, so what you're saying is it'd be an additional 30,000 from what we're paying right now?
Correct. Could be, yes.
Or more?
No. It can't be more. Just because we went, like I said, we went to max cost for family coverage. And that's where that 30K comes in, because that's an additional $20,000. Her wage is actually
Right,
only
'cause
10.
before it was 10K, what you were
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, her wages alone would be 10K. And then it would cost the county for the medical coverage 20K. So total, it'd be a $30,000 difference.
How many drivers you get?
2, and they're part-time,
Now,
so,
Rhonda's still there, full-time.
yep.
She's still there at 3/4 time.
Say that again?
She's still there 3/4 time, this individual.
Yeah, Rhonda's there 30 hours. This individual is there, or 37 and a half. This individual is there 30 hours.
Correct.
And I'm trying to get her up to 37 and a half as well.
How much you there?
40. I mean, the work we do brings a lot of money into this county. I can't tell you exactly how much because, I mean, it's all conjecture. But I can show you the GDX that I show you, you know, whenever I do my annual report, and it's in the millions of dollars.
So Jake, you don't know for sure if it's included in next year's budget?
Not at this, I can't recall off the top of my head, no.
Well, I would like
that's
to see
why-
see what the numbers are gonna be for your next year's budget before we do anything, I think.
In all fairness to Jake, that's what he's asking for, I know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why,
In
that's why I'm
order
coming
to,
now.
in order to do his budget, he wants to know if he can get full-time or not. I get it. I know what he's talking about. I just,
Because right now, we're in the process of getting the budget set up. And so if
Right.
I get permission
we
now, then
haven't,
I
we
can
haven't
include
met
it.
yet.
Well,
Tim
no,
and I are on
no,
the budget committee. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's both ways. It's,
Right.
Well, all I can say is we're in a bit of a crunch with everything that's going on here. I'm just saying, it's, we're just adding more money to the,
Mr. Chair, can I?
yes.
Jake, why don't you put it together as if, but if, I would really like to table this yet for a couple of months if we could.
Okay.
That's when we're gonna find out a heck of a lot more what's going on with the state. We need the legislators to get done. We don't know if they go along with the governor's proposed budget. We got increases in the county, as everybody knows.
Right.
And we're not, don't get me wrong, we've done a lot with you guys, you and the veterans and everything, and appreciate what you do. And we've expanded the department under you quite a bit.
Yep.
So I would like to, I'd like to put it on hold yet. But
Okay.
you put the budget together as if she was full-time.
Okay. The full budget.
But you could list it that way, because we can always turn it down, you know that, and we can revise it
Okay.
if need be. We don't want to create a levy that we can't stomach,
Roger that.
or the whole county can't either.
Okay.
So, and it doesn't seem like much in the perspective, but if we do this everywhere, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion on the table for a couple of months if we could, Jake, but you go forward as if
Understood.
it's going to happen.
I can do that.
Thank you, Charlie.
I would second that.
Thank you, Shane. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yep.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And I'm not saying you guys aren't doing your job over there. I'm saying you guys do a good job for the county. So
Okay.
appreciate
Thank
it.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah.
Tabitha?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have 3 items before you this morning. The first of which I'm going to tackle, and then I'm going to turn it over to Tressa Schmidt, our Assistant Director, to address the second 2 items on the agenda. The first is requesting board approval for the opioid grant. I've come before you multiple times with various different grants. This one is to support Unity Recovery in holding a resource fair that they have scheduled for this Thursday, the 17th, over at Broadway Ballroom. This will support, I think, over 30 vendors coming together. They're hoping for about 250 people in participation to come and check out different resources, hear speakers, participate in a light meal, all to create awareness and support networks around recovery. So their request is for $4,000. This has been screened by the committee, and we are just seeking board approval for that $4,000 grant.
I'll make a motion to approve opioid grant for Unity Recovery.
Thank you, Tim.
A second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer.
Abstain.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to Tristan now.
Good morning. The first item that I have this morning is to approve a new postage machine contract. So Douglas County Social Services actually posts all of the mail for Douglas County departments, and our lease expires in June, so we are coming forward for a new lease. We currently lease with Dakota Mailing for a Pitney Bowes machine. We have great service from them. They do the maintenance, service. They're out of Fargo. They usually do service within the same day or the very next day. We do have 2 quotes that we received. One of them from Dakota Mailing, which is for $678.65 monthly. And then the other quote is from Pitney Bowes Corporate, which is for $733.05 monthly. We are currently paying $715 a month. So if we go with the Dakota Mailing, which is our recommendation, we are saving roughly $30 a month, which is a small amount annually. However, we are making a couple of additional changes to the features that we're using. And one of those features is going to allow us to have electronic return receipts for some of the certified mailings that we do, and we could save up to just over $1 per mailing, and we have some weeks where we do 40 of those in a week. So we are looking at some additional savings that we will incur as well based on usage. So we are requesting that we approve the contract with Dakota Mailing for a new postage machine.
Mr. Chair, I got a question. So Tressa, when you do that, look in the contract and see if they have it in there that you have to have insurance on it.
Okay,
Because we redid ours at work, and they actually just added it on their own and didn't tell us.
Sure.
And we carry our own insurance as long as it's listed with the insurance company, so you can get it a little cheaper. So
Okay.
I'm just asking you to check that.
I will do that.
All right.
Thank you.
Otherwise, I'll make a motion to approve. Sorry, I was gonna finish with that.
Second.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Our second agenda item is to approve the FPI cooperative agreements. So Douglas County is the regional administrative agency for a number of regional counties that we do the fraud prevention investigation for public assistance programs. And so we contract with the Douglas County Sheriff's Department, and Deputy Alexander is our fraud prevention investigator. And so he does all the investigations for Douglas County, Swift, Stevens, Traverse, Western Prairie, which includes both Pope and Grant counties. And so what I'm coming forward today is to approve the cooperative agreements with those other regional counties so that we can continue to provide services for those counties. We do receive a grant allocation from the state. So we'll be coming forward with that grant proposal once we have it back from the state later this year. But they are proposing that they will be granting us $112,000, which covers almost 100% of the cost of that program. So we're requesting to approve the cooperative agreements for each of these other regional administrative agencies, which again is Stevens, Swift, Traverse, and Western Prairie.
Board's wishes.
Well, Mr. Chair, I got a question. So this is for a 60-month contract? according to what it says on here?
That's for the postage machine.
Or the, oh, am I, okay,
That's
it's on
okay,
the back.
Commissioner Kleina, I understand.
Okay, sorry
This-
about
This
that.
is actually a 2-year cooperative agreement, and it starts July 1 of 2026 and goes through June 30th of 2028.
Okay. Okay,
So
thank
2
you.
state fiscal years.
Anybody else?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the FPI cooperative agreement,
Thank you, Jeff.
26, 27.
A second.
And thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Lee, you are up next.
Morning, Mr. Chair, Board.
Morning.
A couple quick items here. The first one is just a formality on getting the permit set up for the Horizon Public Health annual butterfly release that they do in remembrance for family and loved ones that were in the hospice unit. And they're looking at doing that on August 12th, 2025. August 13th would be a backup date. And so I just ask that the board approve that permit that is filled out and in your paperwork.
Board's wishes.
So move, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Charlie. Shane, any other questions? Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is a routine item. Normally, I'd probably be in here earlier, but this year it happened to be today. But we're looking just to get final approval on some temporary and seasonal positions that we need for some of our summer activities in the various departments, such as Land and Resources, Public Works, and Auditor Treasurers. And you have the details in front of you, but so I won't read through them all, but we've got wages that have been traditionally established based on the pay grid. And this year, we have a good number of applicants coming in, so we're excited. We got people ready to go. We just need to finalize these wages and positions.
And just to be clear, is this money here is grant money that pays for this?
No, not all of it. There is a portion of it, especially, I know I'm more familiar with the land and resource side with the AIS. But this has all been budget, this was in the budget for this year because it's costs that we go through every year.
Yep.
And yeah, I do think we do get a lot of grant money for the AIS people. On the Public Works and Auditor Treasurer, I don't think so, but I don't have the details on that.
Okay. So this is for summer 2025?
Yes, this summer. And yep, those some of those seasonal people will be starting real soon.
Board's
Yeah.
wishes.
Especially those with the Public Works, they're going to get started. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'd
Shane?
second that. And
Charlie?
I visited with the park director yesterday. Nice list of applicants too.
Good,
For,
good.
really, it looks like it's better than it's been for quite a while, Brad said.
All righty. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Erickson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So yesterday afternoon, we opened bids on SAP 021646012. That's our reconstruction on CASA 46. I emailed, Lene's got that up already. Awesome, thank you. Emailed to the board just the summary of our bids. Our low bid is Joe Riley Construction. They gave us a very good bid with that. $2,545,224.21. That includes quantities for ALP and for ALASD. They're going to redo the water main. They're going to connect in some sanitary sewer items as well. So the county's portion of that, $1,877,838.21. So I'd make that recommendation that you award this contract to Joe Riley Construction.
All righty. Good, good interest there. There was 6 bids, yeah?
Yeah?
All right, board's wishes.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Joe Riley Construction for County State Aid 46 reconstruction in the amount of $2,545,224.21.
Thank you, Tim.
A second.
And thank you, Jeff. Any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I have an ignorant one, I guess. How does every one of them have a different number from ALP and ALASD?
So because it is a unit price contract, when we look into the full abstract, they can bid each item at a different number. And so that's exactly what they've done. And so when you look at those quantities that are just for ALP or just for ALASD, how they bid those is kind of all over the table. But if it fluctuates a little bit, that's based on each bidder.
Well, don't fluctuate a little bit.
Yeah.
$250,000 from top to finish on that,
Yes.
on ALP. I was just wondering. Okay, like I said, I was wondering,
Yeah, that is a good question.
but thank you.
All right.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes,
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Next couple of items are some drainage bids. So we've brought Mike up here to chat with you guys about them.
Okay. So we have gotten quotes on the repair of branch 3 of County Ditch 416. Midwest Excavating came in quite a bit cheaper than anyone else. I did talk to them. They do feel confident about their bid. I think they're basically trying to get their foot in the door. So I guess I would probably give them a shot on this one. Just seeing which one you want to approve.
Mr. Chair, I got a question here. Where is Midwest out of?
That's just east of Evansville.
Just east of Evansville?
It's
Okay.
Chris Anderson.
Oh, Chris Anderson, okay. 'Cause it's a considerable
Yes.
lot less.
That's why I did call and talk with him, and he
Because
felt okay with it, so.
you look at the numbers here and it's really, I'd say he's really cutting corners.
Yeah. So, I mean, he would have to meet the specifications and do quality work, but from my conversation, I do think he's basically trying to get his foot in the door.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's never done work for the county before?
I do not believe so.
Well, it's a little bit of a, but I know I've seen them do it, other bids, come in low and they did it, so.
That's a good way to get your foot in the
Well,
door.
yeah, I guess it's called advertisement.
What do we got to lose?
you can write it off, the difference in advertising. There you go.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right, Shane. Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Lenny, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, and the next item would be bids for the tile repair on Branch 2 and Fork of County Ditch 17. On that one, ZH Excavating came in the cheapest at $23,550.
Which side of the interstate is this on?
That's on the north side, it's right by Burlington Road off of 82.
Okay. The tile is caved in there, or?
Yeah, it's an old concrete tile, and for sure the far end of it has not functioned for quite a while.
Okay.
Well, prices came in pretty close to estimated cost.
I'll make a motion to award repaired on County Ditch 17 to ZH Excavating.
A second.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lenny, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the next item would be the drainage repair request from County Ditch 10 from James Clone. It's two separate requests. One part would be the ditch's responsibility, which would be cleaning 750 feet of open ditch. They'd like to get that cleaned before they're going to do a tile install on a different portion of the same ditch. Yeah, they just would like that, so it'd be easier to set stuff to grade and just make sure that the new tile would function properly.
When's the last time we worked on that?
I would have to look that up or ask
I'm
Tom.
just curious if you don't, yeah. All right. All right, board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I got a question here. This section to be cleaned, that would be part of the ditch system, right?
Yes.
And then what he's adding on with the tile would be at his own cost?
That is at the landowner's expense, yes.
Okay.
Is there a loan now?
There is currently a $35,500 loan on County Ditch 10.
Raise the assessor? What?
What was that?
Tom was waving back there. Are we,
The request that James has submitted is to replace existing open ditch, which is part of the ditch system,
correct.
with a 15-inch tile.
This is the one that's going to eliminate the open ditch.
Yes.
And they're going to fill it in
And they're going to fill it in.
and farm
Their entire cost.
at their own cost. Okay.
To do that, we'd like that 750-foot open ditch portion that's low, where it kind of doesn't really work as well. And we've got 15-inch downstream from there, that's already in place.
Okay. I thought it was, this is the one you brought up 6 months ago or so, and, or a while back, about filling it in if they tile it this spring. Okay. I was just wondering if it was the same one. Thank you.
Yeah, so we got a map up on the screen now, so for both of those requests.
I was looking at that and I was, yeah.
Okay.
No problem. I'll make a motion, we do it.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Shane. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, and then the last one is a request from Dennis Zenner came in on County Ditch 9, Branch 1. He's saying that the ditch is plugged and it's saturating the soils on his property, so he would like that cleaned. And we came up with an estimated cost of $18,250 for that.
Board's wishes.
I got the same question Charlie asked last time. Is there loans on or is anything, where are we at with that one?
There is not a loan on that one. That one has as of January 1, had a balance in the account of $14,785. And this one was last cleaned in 2001, so it's been a while.
I'll make a motion to approve
Thank you, Shane.
County Ditch 9 cleaning.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Isaac. Right on time. That away.
Oh, I'm gonna need glasses, but we can do the first one without glasses. Maybe I can see it. So our first item this morning are excavator landscaper licenses. There's a number of them in your packet. We recommend approval of those listed.
I'll make a motion to approve the landscaper excavator licenses.
Thank you, Tim.
A second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Excellent. So the next item I have for you is a resolution related to the cannabis retail business registrations. At your last meeting, you adopted a ordinance related to cannabis retail sales, events, and public use. And in that ordinance, there is a section in there that gives the county board the authority to limit the number of adult use cannabis retail business registrations. It specifically says in the ordinance that you will do so once a year by resolution, and typically we'd have this done at your organizational meeting in the winter. But since this is new to us, it would be happening now. Essentially what this does is the state has allowed that you can limit that number to not less than one adult use cannabis retail business per 12,500 residents of the county. And my understanding was from our work group sessions that it was the intent of the board to limit it to the minimum that was allowed by the state. So just to refresh your memories, because I know we've had this conversation and it's not entirely clear in state law, but the way this would work then is that for the county, we can count towards that limited number any retail business that is registered in a municipality or within another entity, whether it be a township that retains its registration authority. So for example, if the city of Alexandria registers 2 adult use cannabis retail businesses and Osakis, the city of Osakis registers 1, then the county would have 1 additional registration that they would need to make in order to reach their 1 per 12,500. So 4 is that number. If a municipality such as Alexandria registers 5 of them, then this board does not have to register any. And I would have you, for the benefit of the public, know that this only applies to those adult use cannabis, not low potency hemp beverages. Those are not limited in any way by our ordinance or by this resolution. So with that, I'll take any questions that you have, just if you need clarification.
So Dave, I get, my question is under this resolution, yeah, I was at that work group session there, and yeah, I mean, it's me thinking that we should have the word experimental in there, because, you know, all the questions that we had asked, you know, was we don't know or we're not sure. I mean, when I was there, we didn't really have answers to the questions that were asked. And so it just seems to me that I mean, we're experimenting here with what's going to work and what isn't.
Mr. Chair, if you feel that the word experimental should be added to the resolution, I'm not sure where you would want to have it put in there, but it's your resolution, the board's, so feel free to make those modifications.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion then for the resolution to say that we are going to go forward with this as an experimental. I mean, it's just that simple.
Well, Mr. Chair, I think it's important from a legal standpoint that you're clear where you're inserting the word in this resolution. So just so you understand that our ordinance has specific words in it that define businesses and uses, cannabis, hemp, retail, those sorts of things. Nowhere in our ordinance is the word experimental applied to any of these things. So my concern would be, and I see our county attorney joined us, but anytime we insert a word into there that might change a meaning that is in our ordinance, then it puts us in a position where it might be ambiguous. As soon as we're ambiguous, then we're we're at risk. And I know you've had some concern about the county's exposure to risk.
Yep.
And my advice would be to stick to the terms that are either in state statute or that we find in our ordinance, because as soon as we start adding terms that aren't in there, that's when we kind of get off into an area where it might be a little more risky.
Well, I want to ask the board, you know, when we're passing something that isn't black and white, don't have answers for, I mean, to me, we're passing something that is going to change, I'm going to say with the wind. I don't know. I just think that somewhere along there, that the word experimental can be used, because this thing is going to change, I'll guarantee you. Chad, I don't know if you got in on that, on number 2, their resolution limiting cannabis retail business registrations. And I thought it would be pertinent to add the word experimental to it, because at our last group session, when the questions were asked, a lot of the answers came back as we don't know yet, or we're not sure. So to me, we're passing something that is definitely not on a solid foundation, if you ask me.
Mr. Chair, I just got a comment on that. We're not establishing anything with the use of it in this. We're just putting the limit of four retail sales in the county. It doesn't have nothing to do with cannabis. It's just the retail is
Yes,
what we're looking at.
I understand. Well, that's my concern. I just think that we're passing something that we just don't have anything black and white to back us up.
Mr. Chair, I think I'm following you. I just agree with Dave. I don't see where we would stick it in here. I just don't see where it fits for this because of what Tim said. It's just
Yeah.
it's just to sell retail.
And Shane, this is one of the few things we can
Correct.
control is a number. Gary, and I, you know, we've talked numerous times about this.
Okay.
And the thing is if we don't do this, we give the control back to St. Paul. And like when we talked about it before,
Yeah. And
sick of being.
But like I said, the only
And I agree with you. That's why we put the number at 4, because that, otherwise, it'll be Katie bar the door. They ask for a registration in St. Paul, they'll get it.
Yep.
Then we could have 50 of them out there.
I hear, but here's my catch here is that so the county or the state says you make your own rules. So if something fails, the state will come back and says, well, you wrote the rules.
No, the rules, yeah.
Or
I agree with part of that, Gary.
Yep.
We don't agree with what the state made for rules. They have the same trouble. I'm not even sure they got a director yet.
Mr. Chair, if I could, I understand your concerns, and I think if I understand you correctly, your concern about experimental is that the adult use cannabis legalization is experimental.
Yeah.
And that's very well and good. I understand your perspective on that. In the circumstance, though, the state, by passing a statute and rule, they gave the county the authority to develop a set of regulations that limits time, place, and manner. So the state's authorized us to do that. They didn't say, go ahead and just write whatever you want. They said, within these sidebars, within this construct of our statute, you may write a limited set of rules that relates to this. And they put some limitations on what we could do. So I think in that regard, as with most of our local ordinances, we have some sort of enabling legislation from the state. So if anybody does come back and say, well, this happened and you have these rules, we're immediately going to go back to, we had a authorization by the state to write these rules. We had a process that we had to follow. We had limits that are placed on what we could do as a local government entity, and we followed all of those things as we were instructed to do and as the state allowed us to do. In this particular circumstance, though, with this resolution, I think it's one of the few places where what we're doing is very clear. I know we had the work group conversation, we had questions like, What happens if a retail business gets shut down? What happens to the product in there, right? This is very clear because it says, this is a retail business. This is how many we're going to have in the county under our registration process. The numbers are clear. The definitions of what those businesses are clear. How we're going to do it is clear. And so therefore, unlike what's, some of the other things that are going on with the regulation of cannabis businesses that the state might have more control over, we're pretty darn clear in this. So I don't think in any way what we're doing here is experimental. It's following what the state allowed us to do.
Okay, all right. That's fine. Board's wishes.
I got one more question, Mr. Chair. So if they register in the city, the county has no part of that. We're not part of that. We don't get nothing for register. We don't register them at all. The city just does it.
That is correct. The city would.
So we're out of it then.
And to be clear, the city of Alexandria, which maintains its own registering process, yes, we have no involvement in that. The city handles that. We would probably ask that the city inform us that, that they're registering businesses so we have a handle on the number. And that way we'd be able, and
that would be with any city, Osakas, Kensington.
Yeah, we're going to want to know
Right,
jurisdictions that are keeping their registration authority. We're going to want to reach out to them and ask when we get a request, how many businesses have they registered so that we know if that threshold has been met.
Thanks.
Anybody else? All right. We need a motion.
I will make the motion for Resolution 25-36, establishing a limit on the number of cannabis retail sales businesses registrations within Douglas County.
Thank you, Tim.
Second.
Thank you, Charlie. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So, along the same lines, in order to register these businesses, we have a process in our ordinance, and it's stated in there that the county has the authority to designate an entity or agency to do that registering of businesses. And so, again, in that work group, we had discussion that we'd like to treat this in a similar way to tobacco. And so Horizon Public Health is working with other counties within the health service area to perform their cannabis business registrations, and they are willing to do that for Douglas County. So what I've provided you is the MOA that we looked over here in a work group last week. The Sheriff's Office was involved in this, Horizon Public Health, Vicki Doling, our auditor, and our chairman, Mr. Rapp, were involved. So Chad Larson was there. So it lays out that process. So what's Horizon Public Health going to do? So they're going to get those registration applications. They're going to review those packets. They're going to check those businesses and locations to ensure that they're meeting the requirements of state law and our ordinance. And then they're going to pass those registrations on to the county board. So ultimately, the county board will make the decision, can a business be registered or not? And then part of our responsibility as a county for the businesses that we're registering are compliance checks. And so similar to tobacco, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office would be involved in conducting at least annual compliance checks on these businesses. Horizon Public Health will get that information from those compliance checks from the Sheriff's Office, provide them to the businesses, and in cases of non-compliance, also provide that information to the County Attorney's Office. And then coordinate any sort of response and request for action from commissioners on these registrations and respond to requests for information. And you can see in there that Horizon Public Health intends to collect those registration fees, and then they will reimburse the Sheriff's Office 65% of that registration fee and keep 35%. And further down, the county, if there is any additional cost to Horizon Public Health for those registration services, they may bill the county for whatever the registration fees don't cover. It's going to be our responsibility then. Our Office Land and Resource Management will review any requests for zoning compliance from the Office of Cannabis Management that come in. The Sheriff's Office obviously conduct those compliance checks and provide that information to Public Health. And then ultimately, it's up to you as the board. Approve, deny, suspend, or revoke registrations. That would be your authority. So, and the county will receive those tax revenue, I think they referred to as rebates to the county. So very similar to the tobacco MOA. So if you have any questions, and Horizon, I don't know if they could. No, they're attending other county board meetings, trying to get the same thing set up in other counties, so they've been quite busy. But they're well aware and on board. I believe this went to Horizon's board yesterday. Okay.
So I just want to make this clear, and that is, Horizon Public Health, if they don't agree with the cannabis program, is their funding in jeopardy? I believe it is.
If they don't agree.
Yeah, if they don't agree on the cannabis. If they said, so my follow-up is that if they're using grant money right now, Horizon Public Health is using grant money to educate people on the harmful effects of cannabis. I mean, don't you see something not right here? I mean, here we're telling people that they legalized cannabis, and then we're turning around and writing grant money to educate people not to use it. I mean, I don't know. That just doesn't fit in my
Horizon
way of
Public,
thinking.
and I totally understand. I think, as I said earlier, it's very similar to tobacco. Horizon Public Health uses the tobacco money to educate our youth on the adverse health effects of tobacco use.
And for 50 years, we've been after people to stop smoking.
But we still allow the sale of tobacco products, and we regulate it, so.
I quit. I mean, I know a lot of people that have quit, but, well, anyway, I just want to make that clear that, to me, something's wrong here. It ain't right.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for David. Under the one spot, you said that if Horizon doesn't get enough money to cover their expenses, they're going to bill the county. So do we need to raise our registration fees? Because they should be covering their own expenses, not us.
Well, and that's where, Mr. Chair, that's where we have one of those challenges.
Okay.
So the state has said that initially that the most that we can charge for an initial registration is $500, or I think it's half of what the state charges. And that's I think it's a 2 registration cycle. And then when they re-register, it's the ordinance or the rule is written unusually. It says that registration, the initial fee is for the initial registration and first renewal. So the second renewal, we can charge up to $1,000.
The state's charging $50,000 for the first registration, and we're not allowed to charge $25,000. Don't get me, I know, I was on that task force also.
So,
but I mean, because that would cover our
So
problem
it's going to
a little
cost us
bit.
money.
But
It could cost us money.
potentially it could cost us money. And in our work group discussion, the sheriff's office, and again, this might be the part that has some experimental nature to it, right? We don't know. Sheriff's office believes that based on their tobacco compliance work, is $500 going to cover their work and Horizon Public Health going through the paperwork of processing these? And then we haven't even gotten to the part where the county might take enforcement action, and what are those costs going to be? We don't know. So at this point, we don't know. I think what Horizon is saying in here is that if, in registering both the adult use cannabis and later this fall, The lower potency hemp edible businesses will be required to be registered by the state, which will also allow us to register them. Those are going to be more numerous. We're thinking maybe 20 to 25 of them, depending upon where they're located. So, yeah, so we don't know, and we're limited in the revenues that we can
We don't
collect
know
at
what
this
we don't know.
Yeah.
And you, Mr. Chair, but that's exactly where the registration money will come from, basically, I think, is from the lower dose beverage. Because there's a lot of places you've been selling it now. Not limited to 4, like we're talking.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I mean, from the information that I've been involved with, the taxpayer will end up subsidizing these bad habits.
I agree.
History has proven that to be pretty true.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with Horizon Public Health for cannabis retail business registration.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim.
Mr. Chair, may I ask quick too? So did the Horizon Board approve this yesterday?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so just so it's clear in the record.
All righty. Lene?
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Any questions for me?
I think we got her.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. Vicky Doling, please.
Lee Valley Toms.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and the board.
Good morning.
Morning.
One resolution for a gambling permit. The Leaf Valley Toms are seeking to perform a raffle on July 6th at the Leaf Valley Mercantile.
I'll make the motion to approve.
2537.
Oh, 2537. Thank you.
Second.
Any other questions? Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, Jill, you're next.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have one item today, just looking for a motion to approve bills totaling $883,632.45.
Board's wishes.
Motion to pay the bills, Mr.
Thank you,
Chair.
Charlie.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
All righty, we are at the point of items from the floor. Anybody from items from the floor? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Shane. Lene, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okey dokey.